Hi there, I'm Nancy Herring from Now We're Cooking. It's Tuesday, so it's time for tips, tricks, and treats. And it's almost the 4th of July, so we're going to do some 4th of July fun. 4th of July is one of those holidays where you're not obligated to give presents. You don't have to make turkey dinner and set your dining room table with formal stuff. You can do whatever you want to do. And you can go a little overboard with the red, white, and blue theme, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to rawhide through 3 different things, and mostly it's just assembling food so that it looks pretty. This does not look the prettiest right now. 7-layer dip is a very traditional recipe that uses refried beans, 7 layers of things. It's usually refried beans, guacamole, salsa, sour cream, olives, tomatoes, chopped up lettuce, cheese, piled up either in a casserole or a bowl or on a platter, and then dig in with chips. We're going to do a 4th of July themed one. So what's already in here is my refried beans, and I stirred them up with some taco mix. This is all just purchased things. Guacamole, salsa, sour cream. I'm saving the cheese and the tomatoes because I want it to look kind of like a flag. So we're going to make a row of tomatoes. I'm not using olives because olives are black and because I didn't have any olives, but they would be, you could pretend that they're blue. So we've got a row of tomatoes. We've got a row of, this is grated Monterey Jack because the Mexican blend cheese that you get has more orange than I wanted. And I don't usually put the sour cream on the top, but I wanted kind of a white layer in there. So another row of tomatoes. And for the standard or the field where the stars traditionally are, I'm using blue corn chips that we crushed up. So I'm gonna save a little spot. And I don't think anybody's gonna count and say, well, you don't have 13 stripes on there. It's not the same. I think the effect will work. So we're gonna put some blue corn chips. That's my blue. Let's see if we might need another one. I could have done a whole, but I wanted them a little bit smaller. So we need another row of tomatoes. And since I have these tomatoes, we'll just fill in. And then another row of cheese. So if we really go out on a limb, we're not getting a lot of stars, but I do have some cheese cut with a star. Now, does that give you the effect of a flag? I kind of think it does. And then serve it with blue corn chips, and you've got the blue theme going on. So it's just a riff on regular 7-layer dip. Now, we've talked about charcuterie boards before, and a charcuterie board is basically a board with all good things on it. So again, think red, white, and blue. Just think what you've got and go for it. Some of these are more on the pink side than red, but I'm okay with that. Plain old saltine crackers because they're a white color. Red bell peppers. I want food. Cookie cutters are one of your best friends to do this kind of thing because you can cut all kinds of things with a cookie cutter. So I'm going to do a layer of cheese. And I do have some more star cheese. And then I'm going to do a layer of meat. This is turkey because that's what I wanted. It wasn't as red as some things could be, but that's all right. And I cut them in long strips because I wanted everything to be kind of long and thin. Any board that you own can be a charcuterie board. It doesn't have to be a special board. You could also do this on a cookie sheet. If you're taking it somewhere, you could do it on one of the cookie sheets with a lid so that you wouldn't have a surprise problem when you get where you're going. Oh, somebody that I know is very fond of radishes, and radishes are the right color. So a nice row. What will not be on this is something that's blue, because I've seen a lot of examples where people mix savory and sweet. So rows of vegetables, rows of blueberries, rows of strawberries, because they're the right color. And that's certainly a way to do it. I kind of wanted it purist. The only thing I could think of that was the right color were purple potatoes, which are really more purple than red, than blue. So I'm gonna do one more cheese. So you kind of get the, oh, I should have flipped those. Well, my flag is a special flag. And then earlier on, I cut out some stars out of the meat, and I cut out some stars out of the cheese. So we're just gonna sprinkle a few stars around, and then we're gonna put the cheese on it. And you've got pretty much of a 4th of July inspired charcuterie board. Dip would be a good thing with it. You can certainly go to town with it. Then it's like, oh, dessert, dessert, dessert. This to me is something that this would be just for a few of us. Oh, shucks, wait. We're gonna add one more layer on here because I have all of these tomatoes. So they're just gonna go right down the middle there. As long as I bothered to cut them up, they're going on here. And I cut up the cherry tomatoes because they were big enough that I just felt they were too large to be on their own. Plus I figured they'd roll around. So we've got veg, meat, crackers, and cheese. I mean, what are you missing? Nothing. So, got all that on there. Lovely. Then let's do kind of a sweeter dessert one. So blueberries, obviously, for the standard. I cut out watermelon with a star cookie cutter. And it's a super ripe watermelon, so some of the points aren't as pointy as they might be, but it's pretty easy to do. That's where your small cookie cutters come into play, because the big ones are great, but for something like this, I just wanted little pieces. And then I'm just leaving the strawberries whole. I'm not even going to cut them into, I did stem them, and I used that handy dandy, this is one of our favorite little tools. It's really great for tomatoes and strawberries. Real sharp little teeth, and you just go in and scoop, and you take the stem out, so you don't have to mess with it. So that's perfect. And then I was messing around. I took Oreos and I dunked them in white chocolate, and I put sprinkles on them. And they were 4th of July inspired sprinkles. And it looks like my Oreos bleeding through a little bit, but chocolate covered Oreos, white chocolate or dark, are a deliciousness. And then this was the funniest. I was playing around. I had part of a Sara Lee pound cake. I thought, well, I'll cut it in stars and I'll dip it in icing. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but my icing is not the prettiest. And the blue is very blue, and you can barely tell it's a star, but I'm putting it on here anyway. So it's not, I didn't spend days making special desserts or anything. I pretty much took what I had and turned it into a 4th of July inspired theme. So I'm gonna tell you a couple other things. The classic 4th of July dessert is making a cake in a 9x13 baking pan. I'm putting rows of strawberries and blueberries. Blueberries in the field, strawberries on the cake. I'm sure you've all had that. Easy peasy, people love it. So that's one good thing. Another thing I was looking at recently, they nested 2 rectangular pans, one inside the other, and the bottom one, they put ice packs so that they could take their board and serve it outside and everything would still be cool. And I thought that was a really good idea. What we've put over here are some just various things, fun red and blue serving utensils, red, white, and blue sprinkles. And then this is really fun. It's called a snackle container. And it's divided container, so you could put your dip and your vegetables separate, snap the lid on, and take it to your event. So it might not look like a flag, but it'd be super easy to do. So those are some ideas to help you celebrate the 4th. Hopefully somebody will invite you over and you can say, I'll bring an appetizer, or I'll bring a dessert platter, and they'll do all the rest of the food. But in the meantime, we'll be open, let's see, we're open Monday through, this is normal, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4. However, this weekend we will be closed the 4th, 5th, and 6th. We're taking a second day off in the middle. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we will be closed this year. But we're here to help you with your 4th of July needs. Until then, if you need cookie cutters, if you need ideas, if you need a snackle box, if you need a new board, we'd love to have you come by and take a look. In the meantime, have the best 4th of July ever. Have fun with your fireworks. Be safe with that and enjoy the day. Happy birthday, USA. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.